Quatrième mystère, l'Assomption. Marie est enlevée au ciel après mort. Demandons à Marie de venir nous assister au moment de notre mort. Prions pour les malades et ceux qui sont dans nos prières.
Notre Père qui es aux cieux, que votre nom soit sanctifié, que votre règne vienne, que votre volonté soit faite sur la terre comme au ciel. Je vous salue Marie, pleine de grâce, le Seigneur est avec vous. Vous êtes bénie entre toutes les femmes, et Jésus, le fruit de vos entrailles, est béni. Je vous salue Marie, pleine de grâce, le Seigneur est avec vous. Vous êtes bénie entre toutes les femmes, et Jésus, le fruit de vos entrailles, est béni. Je vous salue Marie, pleine de grâce, le Seigneur est avec vous. Vous êtes bénie entre toutes les femmes, et Jésus, le fruit de vos entrailles, est béni. Je vous salue Marie, pleine de grâce, le Seigneur est avec vous. Vous êtes bénie entre toutes les femmes, et Jésus, le fruit de vos entrailles, est béni. Je vous salue Marie, pleine de grâce, le Seigneur est avec vous. Vous êtes bénie entre toutes les femmes, et Jésus, le fruit de vos entrailles, est béni. Je vous salue Marie, pleine de grâce, le Seigneur est avec vous. Vous êtes bénie entre toutes les femmes, et Jésus, le fruit de vos entrailles, est béni. Je vous salue Marie, pleine de grâce, le Seigneur est avec vous. Vous êtes bénie entre toutes les femmes, et Jésus, le fruit de vos entrailles, est béni. Je vous salue Marie, pleine de grâce, le Seigneur est avec vous. Vous êtes bénie entre toutes les femmes, et Jésus, le fruit de vos entrailles, est béni. Je vous salue Marie, pleine de grâce, le Seigneur est avec vous. Vous êtes bénie entre toutes les femmes, et Jésus, le fruit de vos entrailles, est béni. Je vous salue Marie, pleine de grâce, le Seigneur est avec vous. Vous êtes bénie entre toutes les femmes, et Jésus, le fruit de vos entrailles, est béni. Gloire soit au Père, au Fils et au Saint-Esprit.
C'est la grande journée où nous célébrons Jésus mort et ressuscité. Que cette rencontre soit pour chacun de nous un moment de résurrection, ressuscitant en nos cœurs la foi, l'espérance et la charité. Bonne célébration avec la chorale Aramea. Levons-nous et chantons, célébrer.
Célébrer En guérison,
pris du pain, rendant grâce, il le bénit en disant,
et mangez-en tous. Ceci est mon corps, donné, livré pour vous.
à la fin de ce repas, le Seigneur prit du vin, rendant grâce, il le bénit en disant,
Prenez et buvez-en tous, car ceci est la coupe de mon sang, le sang de l'alliance nouvelle et éternelle, qui sera versé pour vous, pour la multitude, en rémission de péchés. Et à chaque fois que vous ferez cela, faites-le en mémoire de moi.
proclamons notre foi en Jésus, Sauveur. Il est mort sur une croix, librement. Il est ressuscité pour nous rassembler dans la joie de son prochain retour.
Want to see more cool videos on our channel? We do, so press this bell and enable to send notifications.
It's hard to believe in this day and age that there are parts of the world that still remain unexplored. But it's true. Explorers have scaled the world's tallest mountains and taken samples from Antarctica's deepest subglacial lakes. You can visit remote, exotic locales like the Galapagos from your web browser. And yet, some hidden corners of the Earth still remain essentially uncharted, home to very few people, and investigated by only the most daring travelers. In the Siberian Sakha Republic in Russia, there's an area the size of India that is pretty sparsely populated and unexplored. In Vale do Javari, Brazil, there's an area the size of Austria inhabited by native peoples that most people aren't even allowed to venture into. And let's not get started on the vastness of our oceans, much of which still remains undiscovered. Today, we're going to see 10 places on Earth that have never been explored. Number 10. Vale do Javari, Brazil. Vale do Javari is one of the largest indigenous territories in Brazil. This region, home to at least 14 of the Amazon's uncontacted tribes, is one of the most isolated places in the world, in part by design. Vale do Javari is one of the most isolated places not just in South America, but in the world. Straddling the borders of Peru, Brazil, and Bolivia is the uncontacted frontier, home to more uncontacted tribes than anywhere else on the planet. There are roughly 2,000 native peoples living in the area the size of Austria, separate from the Brazilian government. The tribe's right to live in isolation is protected by a federal agency charged with preventing outsiders from invading indigenous territories. So you cannot go there, even if you wanted to. Number 9. Sakha Republic, Russia. Yakutia, officially the Sakha Republic of the Russian Federation, is a land of extremes. It's pretty massive and covers about 20% of Russia, and a large portion of it is isolated directly above the Arctic Circle. For the sake of comparison, that is the size of India. Its climate is one of the world's most extreme. Average temperatures in January are as low as -46 degrees Fahrenheit, and most of the land is covered by permafrost. Lichen and moss make it a favorite habitat for reindeer. Though mining has taken its toll on the region's pristine wilderness, parts of it remain untouched, like the Lena River Delta, a gorgeous refuge and breeding ground for wildlife. Number 8. Northern Patagonia, Chile. Home to temperate rainforests, glaciers, fjords, and hot springs, Northern Patagonia is one of Chile's wildest landscapes. Patagonia offers a kaleidoscope mix of remote and untamed landscapes that will thrill the senses with their unrivaled beauty. Highlights of northern Patagonia include Coyhaique, Lake General Carrera, Laguna San Rafael National Park, Patagonia Park of Douglas Tompkins, and Caleta Tortel. If you were to go to northern Patagonia, Chile, you would find a sparsely populated and wild landscape. Highways have only recently made it accessible, and there are sections of road that are still in the process of being paved. Here, nature is largely untouched. There is even a huge ice mass here called the Northern Patagonia Ice Field, one of the largest outside of the polar regions. Only the most adventurous traveler heads to this region, which may be worth a visit, considering that it is largely untouched by humans. Number 7. Kamchatka, Russia. On Russia's eastern peninsula, there is a region with a crazy amount of volcanic activity. It has over 300 volcanoes, one of which has been erupting for over 20 years. The Kamchatka Peninsula is a 1,250-kilometer-long peninsula in the Russian Far East, with an area of about 270,000 kilometers. It's home to the most diverse range of salmon species and is the most densely populated brown bear habitat in the world. However, the region was closed to Westerners until the collapse of the Soviet Union in 1991, and even before that, only 400,000 people, all with military clearances, were allowed to live in the territory, which is around the size of California. Number 6. Northern Forest Complex, Myanmar. You would think that humans have explored and exploited all of the forests there are to find on the planet. But surprisingly, there are a plethora of subtropical forests on the eastern slope of the Himalayas that are pretty much unexplored. During 50 years of repressive military rule, vast jungles in the country known as both Myanmar and Burma were unexplored by scientists. Many of the subtropical forests located on the steep slopes of the easternmost stretch of the Himalayas are virtually untouched by human activity. Deep within the forests of Myanmar's Kachin state lies the largest tiger preserve in the world. Frozen in time and unscathed by industrialism and tourism, these forests were rumored to serve as home to some of the world's most endangered or vulnerable creatures, including Asian elephants, clouded leopards, tigers, and sun bears. The forest itself consists of pine rhododendron, evergreen, mixed deciduous, alpine meadows, and more. Number 5. Namib Desert, southern Namibia. Deserts have historically been unexplored due to their remoteness and extreme climate. Namib Desert is estimated to be the world's oldest desert, and it's one of the driest, least populated places in the world. Dunes dominate the southern part of the harsh desert, and there are few paved roads. At 1,256 feet tall, the giant Dune 7 is believed to be the tallest sand dune in the world. The Namib Desert makes up a large part of Namibia. Surprisingly, Namibia itself is one of the youngest countries in Africa. It only gained independence in 1990. Most of its population lives in the northern part of the country, leaving the southern part, the desert part, largely empty. Number 4. Fiordland National Park, New Zealand. Fiordland, New Zealand is one of the most remote places on Earth. This southwestern corner of New Zealand is home to some of the most hostile and breathtakingly stunning landscapes on the planet. Fiordland, a vast tract of mountainous terrain that occupies the southwest corner of South Island, New Zealand, is one of the most astounding pieces of land anywhere on God's earth. And one's first impulse, standing on a cliff top surveying it all, is simply to burst into spontaneous applause. Fiordland National Park was shaped by glaciers and contains some of the country's oldest rocks. The vast wilderness is home to a unique diversity of animals, like the takahe, a flightless indigenous bird thought to be extinct for decades until it was rediscovered in the park in 1948, and the kakapo, the world's only flightless nocturnal parrot. Fiordland's 2.9 million acres are some of the wildest lands in the southern hemisphere. Number 3. North Sentinel Island, India. Located far into the Bay of Bengal in the Indian Ocean, North Sentinel Island is one of the most isolated places on Earth. Approximately the size of Manhattan, this remote island is home to the Sentinelese tribe, the most dangerous tribe in the world. North Sentinel Island basically belongs to India, but few outsiders have made contact with the Sentinelese people. There's a 3-mile exclusion zone surrounding the island, where somewhere between 50 and 300 people are estimated to live. The locals' hostile reactions to outsiders' attempts at contact have left much of the island unexplored. In November 2018, a 27-year-old American adventure blogger was recently killed by the remote Sentinelese tribe on North Sentinel Island. The blogger hired fishermen to illegally take him to the island and left him in a canoe to trek to the island. His criminal trespassing to the island resulted in his being killed by the villagers and may have now doomed the previously uncontacted tribe forever. Number 2. Amazon Rainforest. The Amazon rainforest, covering much of northwestern Brazil and extending into Colombia, Peru, and other South American countries, is the world's largest tropical rainforest, famed for its biodiversity. It's crisscrossed by thousands of rivers, including the powerful Amazon. River towns with 19th century architecture from rubber boom days include Brazil's Manaus and Belém, and Peru's Iquitos and Puerto Maldonado. The Amazon contains 50% of the world's rainforest and is about 2.5 million square miles. Due to its vastness, a lot of it is unexplored. There is, of course, an electric biodiversity with rare species to be explored. The Amazon gets rain all year, earning its title of rainforest. But this constant rain leads to flooding, which makes it difficult to traverse the Amazon by river. It may be a good thing that the Amazon is largely untraversed. There are a whole host of deadly animals here, from poison dart frogs and piranhas to anacondas. Number 1. New Hebrides Trench, Australia. Another undiscovered trench lies off the eastern coast of Australia and about 1,000 miles north of New Zealand. In fact, scientists did not explore the New Hebrides Trench until 2013. The trench is nearly 4.5 miles deep. When scientists did explore, using underwater robots, they found eels and prawns. But not just any eels or prawns. These were different from other species found in other trenches in the deep sea. The eels were as long as 1 meter, and the prawns bright red. They collected some marine life species to study. But it is anyone's guess what other species lies in this largely unexplored deep-sea trench. Thank you so much for watching, and if you enjoy the video, please let me know by clicking the like button. Do share, write a comment, and don't forget to subscribe so that you can catch up my next video.
September 2007. One of America's richest men went missing on a solo flight in the mountains of the Sierra Nevada. Steve Fossett was a world-famous pilot who cheated death on dozens of record-breaking flights. How could he just vanish off the face of the earth?
There were rumors that he was in Argentina. There were rumors that he had faked his death.
A lot of people, especially wealthy people, sometimes they just kind of check out. I'm walking away from this.
Fossett, who'd made the first solo balloon flight around the world, had disappeared in America's very own Bermuda Triangle, an area of Nevada and California in which more than 2,000 planes have crashed in the last 50 years. Some call it the Nevada Triangle.
It's just something that's been passed around by pilots in this area for decades, that, you know, in the old days, planes would go missing. Nobody ever found the airplane.
They were talking about hundreds and hundreds of planes that had vanished into the Nevada Triangle, or the Devil's Triangle of Nevada.
The Nevada Triangle is a mysterious area with an unforgiving landscape of high mountain and desert. Inside its borders is Area 51, a top-secret military base famous for rumors of UFO sightings and unsolved plane crashes. Only by unlocking these mysteries to try and find out what happened to Steve Fossett can we learn why so many planes crash or disappear in the Nevada Triangle.
Pompeii, buried by Mount Vesuvius. This city was frozen in time, providing us with a shocking window into the lost world of the Romans. But that window may close before all her secrets are revealed, as Pompeii comes under threat from all sides. Today, the greatest mystery may be, is the same force that conquered Pompeii the first time rumbling back to life?
We're all really worried that we'll actually be here the next time it erupts.
These walls, they were never meant to withstand all that they've been through. The threats are very real.
Now, experts are trying to solve the lingering riddles before it's too late, as they fan out across the site and use the latest technology and scientific detective work to uncover what Pompeii was like on the eve of its destruction.
We want to know who were these people and how were the last moments of their lives.
It's the year 79 AD. The people in the Roman town of Pompeii are going about their business. Shoppers out in the streets pick up their daily supplies. At home, people prepare for their day ahead. Slaves work away in the city's food industry. The bars are noisy and bustling, and gladiators are preparing for battle. But this day would change these people's lives forever. High above the city looms Mount Vesuvius, one of the most dangerous volcanoes on Earth. Few realize that for many of them, they have just one day left to live.
An unbelievable discovery.
This is it. This is absolutely it.
A mind-boggling claim. The tomb of Jesus found.
Jesus' body would have been laid right here.
An unprecedented controversy.
Quite frankly, give me a call when somebody's got the real evidence on something like this.
Can 21st century technology deliver that evidence?
We're actually pushing the bounds of archaeology.
And now, will a second tomb provide the ultimate proof?
What's that? Oh,
That's it, baby. That is a symbol of Christian resurrection.
It's one of the most iconic images in Christianity. In the spring of 30 AD, Jesus is crucified in Jerusalem by the Roman authorities. The Gospels agree that Joseph of Arimathea, a wealthy member of the Jerusalem High Court and a secret follower of Jesus, takes possession of the body. But what happens next is not so clear. Christians believe that Jesus is placed in a tomb close to the site of crucifixion, and after 3 days he rises from the dead, leaving behind an empty tomb. Tradition holds that the Church of the Holy Sepulchre is built on this site. But no archaeological evidence for Jesus' tomb has ever been found here. Another account based on the Gospel of Matthew states that Jesus is ultimately buried in an unused tomb that Joseph of Arimathea had intended for his own family. But again, no evidence for such a tomb is found. All this changes in 1980. In the Jerusalem suburb of Tel Aviv, 2 miles from the Church of the Holy Sepulchre, archaeologists uncover a 2,000-year-old tomb. It has strange markings, unlike anything previously discovered. The archaeologists remove 10 limestone ossuaries, or coffins, from inside. Then the tomb is cemented over, an apartment complex built on top.
C'est un temps d'allégresse, où l'on se réjouit sans contrainte de ce que Dieu nous a donné. Mais un jour, Dieu pourra vous demander des comptes pour tous les dons qu'il vous a faits. Tenez-vous prêts. Le royaume des cieux arrive. Rabbi,
dit que le royaume des cieux va arriver. Mais quand exactement va-t-il arriver?
Quand tu vois les nuages qui viennent par l'est, tu dis la pluie arrive. Et ainsi en est-il. Par contre, si le vent du désert se lève, tu dis il va faire chaud. Et ainsi en est-il. Chacun de vous sait lire les signes de la terre et du ciel. Comment se fait-il que vous ne sachiez pas lire les signes des temps, mes frères? Le royaume des cieux est ici. Maintenant.
Tu n'es pas le bienvenu ici, me semble-t-il. Je ne sais pas comment tu te nommes, mais je connais ta profession.
Lévi, ou Mathieu, les habitants m'appellent des deux façons.
Et de bien d'autres encore.
J'aurais été heureux de te parler, mais dans un endroit où nous aurions été les bienvenus.
Est-ce que ta maison est loin?
Pourquoi demandes-tu ça?
Je voudrais aller souper chez toi ce soir.
Tu entrerais dans la maison d'un homme de péché?
J'entre dans toutes les maisons où l'on m'accueille avec joie.
Il y avait un homme qui avait 2 fils. Un beau jour, le cadet de ses fils dit à son père, « Donne-moi la part de tes biens à laquelle j'ai droit. » Le père partagea ses richesses et tous ses biens entre ses 2 fils, et sans plus attendre, ce fils cadet partit pour un pays éloigné. Et là, il dissipa tout son bien en vivant dans la débauche. Or, peu de temps après cela, une grande famine s'abattit sur le pays. Le jeune homme se trouva dans le besoin. Il vint supplier un fermier de l'engager pour soigner ses pourceaux. Mais il avait tellement faim que même les cosses de caroube qu'il donnait au porc lui paraissaient un délice. Les gorées s'en régalaient, et personne ne lui permettait d'en manger. Alors, étant rentré en lui-même, il se dit, « Chez nous, chacun, même un serviteur de la maison, a du pain à volonté, et de tout en abondance. Tandis qu'ici, moi, je meurs de faim. Je vais retourner chez mon père, et je lui demanderai de m'engager comme serviteur. »
Le Vatican est le foyer de la religion catholique, dont les fidèles représentent 1/6 de la population mondiale. C'est une institution particulièrement ancienne et puissante. Elle se retrouve parfois au cœur de la controverse. Selon de récentes révélations, le Saint-Siège aurait participé à une vaste campagne visant à dissimuler l'existence des ovnis.
L'Église se prépare à admettre l'existence d'une vie extraterrestre et à l'inclure dans la création.
Si l'on en croit certains ufologues, le Vatican a depuis des siècles connaissance d'une forme de vie extraterrestre. Les conséquences d'une telle affirmation seraient tellement graves que des générations de papes et de cardinaux ont préféré tout nier en bloc. Et si ces allégations étaient vraies?
Beaucoup de gens pensent que tout ne nous a pas été révélé.
L'heure est venue d'exposer au grand jour les mystères qui se cachent derrière les murs de cette citadelle. Des membres de l'Église vont nous faire des aveux inattendus et fournir ce qu'ils considèrent comme la preuve d'une forme de vie extraterrestre. Aujourd'hui, nous allons vous dévoiler tous les secrets du Vatican. La machine est en marche. Des dossiers restés confidentiels pendant des décennies et décrivant des manifestations extraterrestres ont été rendus publics. Nous allons vous révéler le contenu de ces documents et découvrir ce que le gouvernement américain voulait cacher. C'est à suivre dans Alien Files, l'émission qui perce les plus grands secrets de la planète Terre. 2 avril 2005. Le pape Jean-Paul II s'éteint après 26 ans de pontificat. Beaucoup le décrivent comme l'une des figures les plus influentes du XXe siècle. Le 8 avril, à 6h03 du matin, quelques heures avant ses funérailles, un objet volant non identifié apparaît sur les caméras de surveillance de la basilique Saint-Pierre. Ce mystérieux appareil serait-il la preuve d'un lien entre le Vatican et les extraterrestres? Certains ufologues et historiens estiment cette hypothèse crédible et la font remonter au fondement même du catholicisme. Et si cet objet était venu d'un autre monde pour rendre un dernier hommage au pape?
Un des secrets les mieux gardés de l'Église est leur croyance en une vie extraterrestre.
En 1543, à Torun, en Pologne, Nicolas Copernic pose les bases de l'astronomie moderne en prouvant que la Terre tourne autour du Soleil et non l'inverse. 5 ans plus tard, à Naples, le philosophe Giordano Bruno va plus loin en affirmant que les planètes qui nous entourent sont elles aussi habitées.
La théorie de Giordano Bruno sur le cosmos est claire. Nous ne sommes pas seuls. Mais disons que ça n'a pas beaucoup plu à l'Église.
En 1600, il est reconnu coupable d'hérésie et condamné au bûcher. Il est le premier homme de l'histoire à être exécuté par l'Église en raison de sa croyance en une forme de vie extraterrestre. Ce philosophe a-t-il été sacrifié pour étouffer un secret caché par l'Église depuis plus de 1500 ans?
Selon la Bible, Dieu nous a fait, nous humains, et nous a placés au centre de toute chose. Nous sommes le début et la fin. Mais la réalité est tout autre. Il existe bien autre chose que nous.
Les liens entre la foi catholique et les extraterrestres sont en fait presque aussi anciens que la religion elle-même. D'étranges objets volants commencent en effet à apparaître dans l'art chrétien dès le XVe siècle.
De nombreux artistes ont placé d'étranges symboles dans le ciel. Et dans certains cas, ils ont tout d'une soucoupe volante.
Sur l'une de ses œuvres, on peut observer la Madone et en arrière-plan un personnage étrange, San Giovannino. Ce personnage semble observer le ciel et plus particulièrement une sorte d'appareil peint juste au-dessus. Au Moyen-Âge et à la Renaissance, les peintres s'inspiraient de faits réels pour réaliser leurs œuvres. Les gens voyaient de vrais objets dans le ciel.
Dans Miracle dans la neige, on peut voir Jésus et Marie dans les airs, flotter par-dessus ce qui semble être une flotte entière de soucoupes volantes ou d'ovnis. Dans le baptême du Christ, qui a été peint en 1710, on voit un objet ressemblant à un ovni qui envoie des rayons en direction de Jésus. La crucifixion dépeint quant à elle deux appareils ressemblant étrangement à des ovnis. Les objets représentés dans ces œuvres sont-ils des témoignages de dévotion religieuse ou bien la preuve d'un lien entre l'Église et des engins spatiaux, voire des créatures d'un autre monde?
Ces objets-là n'ont rien à voir avec l'iconographie catholique. Qu'est-ce qu'ils pouvaient représenter? On n'en sait rien.
Ces disques, présents à travers toute l'histoire de l'art chrétien, correspondent exactement aux descriptions des ovnis observés de nos jours dans le ciel. Les peintres représentaient-ils des objets qu'ils avaient vus ou dont des témoins leur avaient parlé? Et malgré la présence d'ovnis tout au long de l'histoire, pourquoi l'Église a-t-elle toujours nié leur existence? Le Vatican nous cache-t-il vraiment la preuve d'une forme de vie extraterrestre? Venons-nous de découvrir son plus grand secret?
Il est fort probable que quelques-unes des expériences religieuses dont nous débattons depuis des siècles soient en fait de nature extraterrestre.
Des représentations d'engins spatiaux dans l'art à l'observation d'ovnis survolant des églises, le Vatican est depuis longtemps associé à des phénomènes étranges. Pourtant, l'Église a toujours condamné ceux qui déclarent croire en l'existence des extraterrestres. Un événement permet cependant de prouver que le Vatican a bien contribué à dissimuler la vérité sur les ovnis. Dossier déclassifié, l'apparition de Fatima. En 1917, en pleine Première Guerre mondiale, le Portugal tente de rester neutre. Mais ses habitants vivent dans la peur et cherchent à savoir ce que l'avenir leur réserve.
Le 13 octobre 1917, à Fatima, au Portugal, plus de 70 000 témoins ont assisté à un phénomène étrange. La pluie aurait brutalement cessé de tomber. Certains disent que les nuages se seraient écartés et qu'un objet de forme lenticulaire serait descendu du ciel pour se rapprocher du sol.
Selon les témoignages, 3 enfants se seraient approchés et auraient vu une femme magnifique apparaître sous leurs yeux. Aux côtés de cette femme serait apparu également un appareil de forme sphérique, envoyant des pétales de rose qui disparaissaient au contact du sol. Et d'après les 3 enfants, l'apparition leur aurait laissé un message codé.
Les études menées par la suite attribuent ce message à la Vierge Marie, mais il est tout à fait possible qu'il provienne de quelqu'un d'autre.
Cette apparition a adressé aux 3 petites filles une prophétie, une vision de l'avenir. C'était une prédiction.
Ce message est interprété comme la prédiction d'un futur apocalyptique. Il évoque des épées embrasées et de prétendus démons qui descendraient sur Terre sous forme d'animaux effrayants et inconnus. Le Vatican a-t-il cherché à nous cacher que ce message annonçait en fait une invasion extraterrestre imminente ?
Très peu d'informations sur cet incident ont filtré avant l'an 2000. Et tout porte à croire qu'à ce jour, tout n'a pas encore été révélé. S'il s'agit vraiment d'un avertissement venant d'un autre monde, je suis certain que beaucoup aimeraient l'entendre.
Des apparitions, des lueurs dans le ciel, des messages venant d'êtres étranges. Les signalements de manifestations extraterrestres continuent de se multiplier à travers le globe. Et si l'on en croit certains experts, le Vatican s'y intéresse de très près.
En 2011, plusieurs individus résidant en Côte d'Ivoire ont vu une lumière dans le ciel. Mais pas n'importe quelle lumière. Il s'agissait d'une lumière en forme de diamant. Cette lumière était si vive que pendant quelques instants, elle a pétrifié ceux qui l'observaient. Et ça a bouleversé leur vie.
Dernièrement, des phénomènes du même type se produisent de plus en plus souvent un peu partout dans le monde. Au Pérou, au Brésil, en Russie, en Chine, et à chaque fois, ces manifestations s'apparentent à des apparitions divines. L'Église catholique compte 1,2 milliard de fidèles disséminés aux 4 coins du globe.
Beaucoup attendent le grand monarque, le Sauveur, le Mahdi, le Christ, Inri le II, ou bien Bouddha. Enfin, toutes les religions attendent avec impatience un homme. Pouvez-vous envisager une seule seconde que cet être apparaissent soudainement dans le monde, bouleversant tous les rituels, les religions, les sectes et les gouvernements? Pensez-vous que cet être aurait une chance de survie? Honnêtement, toutes les agences de renseignement des pays industrialisés se mettraient immédiatement à sa recherche afin de freiner son élan. Cet homme décemment ne peut pas se permettre d'arriver en disant « Coucou, c'est moi, regardez-moi, j'arrive ». Non, cet homme ne peut qu'apparaître d'une seule façon. C'est dans l'esprit de chaque individu, que chacun puisse le reconnaître sans faire aucune publicité, uniquement le murmure comme au début de la chrétienté. Non, cet être n'a qu'une seule façon de se manifester, c'est à travers l'esprit des personnes qui le reconnaîtront. Les autres n'y verront que du feu, car nous sommes à une époque insidieusement démoniaque. Les forces du bien sont en train de faiblir en face des forces du mal, c'est-à-dire les valeurs d'honnêteté ont complètement changé. Les notions de bien et de mal se sont interverties. Aujourd'hui, nous acceptons ce qui était refusé il y a 50 ans. Le monde entier a besoin d'un homme comme celui que je vous décris. Le monde devient de plus en plus corrompu. Nous prenons le domaine bancaire. Il y a 40 ans, on a obligé les personnes à prendre un compte en banque, gratuit à l'origine. Et puis d'année en année, on a fait payer les chéquiers, barrés ou pas barrés. Ensuite, on a fait payer les cartes. Ensuite, on fait payer les comptes. Maintenant, on fait payer certaines transactions. Et pour un découvert de 6 €, on vous file une amende de 16 €. Et demain, on vous prendra un pourcentage sur votre salaire que vous allez déposer. Ou bien, sur les courses que vous allez faire au supermarché. Ce qui était normal il y a 50 ans ne l'est plus aujourd'hui. Et cela touche tous les domaines. Maintenant, je vous délivre aujourd'hui quelques messages qui lui sont adressés, afin de le mettre sur la voie de son destin. Cette personne devra impérativement savoir lire les 3 dernières centuries qui lui sont destinées. Son avenir y est inscrit. Vous trouverez sur le site www.nostradamusbp.fr toutes les informations montrant et démontrant que les textes de Nostradamus ont été mis à jour. Enfin, le principe d'expression de cette écriture dissimulée. Sur Facebook à Terra Nova Var, je regroupe toutes les personnes qui désirent se rencontrer ou entreprendre quelque chose pour une survie dans le temps. Je vous demande de laisser vos idées sur les méthodes de survie diverses, afin que tout le monde... C'est en recherchant, dans les 400, quatrains déjà décryptés, l'événement relatif aux Gilets jaunes, que j'ai découvert que ce premier quatrain de la 3e centurie recélait un événement non identifiable lors du décryptage de l'époque. Il faut être très attentif à cette écriture secrète, car les événements importants se dissimulent dans les textes. Nostradamus ne prédit pas l'avenir au jour le jour, comme le ferait un diseur de bonne aventure. De nombreuses personnes s'attendent à avoir des confidences de Nostradamus sur les événements qui se passent pratiquement dans l'année, avoir des preuves de cette façon. Mais Nostradamus nous prédit 2 grands événements. Et afin de faire comprendre que la chronologie du temps est bonne, il nous inscrit des événements indiquant la bonne chronologie du temps. Il insère surtout des événements qui auront des conséquences graves pour la planète et pour l'humanité. Certains événements spectaculaires ne seront pas inscrits dans les textes, car ceux-ci n'auront aucun impact sur le temps qui nous reste. Nostradamus nous avertit d'un grand danger qui arrivera soudainement, et personne ne verra rien venir. Je vous restitue les textes de Nostradamus tels qu'ils ont été écrits, tels qu'ils ont été pensés par l'auteur des centuries. Je ne me permets pas d'ajouter une traduction ou une pensée personnelle. Je fais simplement quelques allusions dans mes commentaires. Je ne faisais plus de vidéos parce que je suis un petit peu déçu. Il est vrai que si j'avais fait des vidéos sur comment gagner de l'argent facilement, comment gagner au loto facilement, j'aurais un succès monstrueux. Mais j'ai pas le succès que je recherche. Moi, j'annonce tout bêtement la fin d'une période, la fin d'une civilisation, avec des preuves à l'appui. C'est tout bêtement ça.
Hi, I'm Craig Hamilton Parker. I'm a British psychic and I'm making some predictions here about Canada for 2019. I've already made some predictions about Canada in my world predictions for 2019 that you'll also find on YouTube, but I've honed down specifically here for a few for Canada. Now, I mentioned on my world predictions I saw a major forest fire in Canada. Now, obviously, Canada has forest fires a lot, but this is something that I feel will hit the world headlines because it's a big one. It's a bigger one than we've known for a very long time. And I'm sorry, but there's some other negative predictions I've got to make here for the environment, because I also feel that Canada's going to have one of its coldest wind of all time, one of its coldest winters. I say winds because I sensed a very strong northerly wind coming down and causing temperatures that have been unprecedented for its time. And this is on the north of Canada, and particularly to the north east of Canada, my feeling was here. Coming down through Greenland, it's sort of type of thing. So you're used to cold weather, but that's something I was sensing as I tuned into Canada. Now, I also feel that there's going to be major economic and political upheaval through 2019 in Canada. There's going to be sweeping changes. Now, the first is NAFTA. Now, that is actually, there's things happening in the news as I speak about NAFTA. This is the North American Free Trade Agreement. So, my feeling is with this, and I sense this I mentioned this in some other predictions earlier, is that there's going to be a complete breakdown of trade between Canada and America. they're trying to sort everything out and get deals with this deal that involves Mexico, America and Canada. And it's going to be a bit like it's happening with Brexit here in the UK. We can't get a deal because we're up against intransigent people who will not budge. And I'm afraid Canada's going to come out the loser here with the NAFTA agreement. It could be completely torn up and starting again. So it's going to be a very difficult deal. And I think Canada's going to come out of it badly. That's what I saw. So I also had a very strong intuition. Now, when I was making my predictions about Brexit and things, I felt very strong bond between Canada and Britain. And I feel there's going to be a lot of trade, new trade, unprecedented trade between Canada and Britain. This will involve the car industry and the aviation industry and even possibly oil to an extent. This will also all be wrapped up with involvement with other countries such as Australia, such as New Zealand and South Africa, all getting involved in a new, almost partial Commonwealth type of feel to it. And there's going to be a trade agreement between those countries, which will be benefit for all, including Australia, I feel. So the NAFTA's going to end. This will also all be wrapped up with involvement with other countries such as Australia, such as New Zealand. This will involve the car industry and the aviation industry and even possibly oil to an extent. This will also all be wrapped up with involvement with other countries such as Australia, such as New Zealand and South Africa, all getting involved in a new, almost partial Commonwealth type of feel to it. And there's going to be a trade agreement between those countries, which will be benefit for all, including Australia, I feel. So the NAFTA's going to go wrong. Also, I see a similar trade war going on with oil. This hasn't happened or been any signs of this yet, as far as I'm aware, but I feel as if we're shutting down pipelines and we're being left with oil that we can't sell. So again, I feel there's going to be a big major upheaval in Canada in those areas. In particularly, I'm talking here about aviation, I'm talking about automotive industry, I'm talking about oil industry. Those industries and others affected by it are going to be badly hit. But nonetheless, I sense, like I say, this extended deal where we're looking to much further afield. We're really looking outwards now and even doing deals with countries we wouldn't expect to be doing deals with, even Russia, you know. So this is going to create, I feel, quite a volatile situation for the political side of Canada. Canada, I believe, has always been a very liberal sort of country, but my sense is you're going to have kind of a new, more conservative, more right-wing type of politics happening as you come up to your elections. My feeling is that Justin Trudeau will fall from power. At the point of talking now, he's in a very strong position, I believe, in politics. My feeling, he's going to go. I was looking at politicians for Canada and I was drawn to one called Doug Ford. I believe he's an outsider, but my feeling is this man is like a new Trump, and I get the feeling that he's going to be kind of pushed into power by sort of the populist vote again. That would probably horrify many people, but my feeling is that there's going to be quite a divide in Canada now, I'm afraid. Part of that caused by immigration, clashes between cultures again. A lot of this, I feel, will be stimulated by a terrorist attack, probably prior to the elections, if I'm seeing things right, in Toronto. I saw machine guns and all sorts of terrible things going on there. So I'm afraid I see a terrorist attack which is going to swing the vote more right in Canada. So people like, I think you on your opposition you've got someone called Andrew Scheer in running. I'm not quite sure my politics here, but those type of people I'm going to feel fade away. We're going to feel a rise of stronger views. So Yes, so I feel, like I say, NAFTA's going to go, oil war problem, we're going to get the problems with lots of racial tension happening in the country, which is unusual for Canada, I should imagine. On a more positive note, on other things, well, mind you, before I say that, I feel Canada, despite what I'm saying, Canada will thrive. Canada will come out of this well and quickly. I feel that there might be some financial problems that they haven't, juggled. Like we have a Bank of England, don't have a Bank of Canada, but I feel there's a lot of intervention to make sure we keep the economy stable. There'll be a worrying time, but I feel you'll get through it. I think Canada will come out much stronger. That was the gut feeling I had for that. I also was seeing that I saw great sporting achievements in the year, though. There's small change perhaps for what I've said before, but I also feel very strong sporting achievements in all sorts of fields. I think you have coming up the 2019 Winter Games, and you also have the Pan American Games coming up. And I saw lots of achievements for that. I feel as if Canada's almost doing a poke in the eye to America. It's as if, look, Canadians can win, And I feel there's a bit of a nationalism appearing in Canada, not in a brutal form, but just a national pride kind of welling up in Canada, and then becoming a lot less dependent on other countries and becoming much more self-motivated is the feeling I get. So I think actually that's quite a good thing that can come out of this, but there is still nonetheless, I feel, a lot of problems, like I say, particularly with immigration and racial hatred happening in Canada, something that's perhaps been unseen there up to now. A strong anti-Muslim movement in Canada.
This is Mark Fox with another edition of Amazing Prophecies. What happens when a man dies? Is death the end or just the beginning? Are the dead dead? Does man have an immortal soul? As reported in an NBC News article of March 2016, 80% of Americans believe in an afterlife. Some say that when a man dies, they have a soul that releases from the body and goes to purgatory or limbo or hell or heaven, or to be reincarnated into other bodies over and over again. There is so much unnecessary confusion about this subject of death when it is actually very easy to understand. Let me give you 5 fast facts about what happens when a man dies. Number 1, when a man dies, his breath goes back to God. Then the dust will return to the earth as it was, and the spirit will return to God who gave it. Ecclesiastes 12, verse 7. Well, what does the word spirit here mean? The spirit is breath, according to Job 27, verse 3, and James 2, verse 26. It is his breath that goes back to God. The Bible never says the soul goes back to God. Number 2. The dead are dead and do not know anything, for the living know that they will die, but the dead know nothing. Ecclesiastes 9, verse 5. When a man dies, he ceases to think. He is not aware of anything, according to Psalms 146, verse 4. Number 3, the Bible calls death asleep. Enlighten my eyes, lest I sleep the sleep of death. Psalms 13, verse 3. The Bible calls death asleep 66 times. See John 11, 11 to 14, about Jesus resurrecting Lazarus. He said Lazarus was sleeping, and then he said Lazarus is dead. Number 4, the dead are in their graves. Do not marvel at this, for the hour is coming in which all who are in the graves will hear his voice and come forth, those who have done good to the resurrection of life, and those who have done evil to the resurrection of condemnation. John 5, 28 and 29. So Jesus makes it crystal clear that the dead are in their graves. There is nothing mysterious about that. Number 5, the righteous dead will rise again when Jesus comes in the second coming. For the Lord himself will descend from heaven with a shout, with the voice of an archangel, and with the trumpet of God. And the dead in Christ will rise first. Then we who are alive and remain shall be caught up together with them in the clouds to meet the Lord in the air, and thus we shall always be with the Lord.
I've said it before, I will say it again. We can't balance the budget on the backs of the very people who have borne the biggest brunt of this recession. Everyone's going to have to chip in. That's only fair.
Here is wisdom. Let him that hath understanding count the number of the beast, for it is the number of a man, and his number is 666.
Revelation says the mark of the beast will be the number 666. Some believe a numerical mark is already being established by the devil in the products we buy and the credit cards we use. When the Antichrist arrives, his mark will already be among the people. Others see the mark of the beast in the barcodes that are attached to our purchases. For believers, these items are seen as marks to guide the Antichrist and the devil to our doors. After he subdues the world through a combination of charm and terror, Revelation tells us the Antichrist will make everyone wear a mark to reveal their allegiance to him, their new master.
He will force every person on the planet to take a mark in their right hand or their forehead. Without that mark, they cannot buy nor sell.
More now of our special coverage here tonight, life in the U.S. in 10 years' time. By that time, there may be all kinds of new ways to safeguard and identify all those things that make each of us unique, our faces, even our fingerprints, even our eyes.
The year is 2017. You're rushed to a hospital unconscious with no ID or medical history, but thanks to a microchip under your skin, it's all there. Science fiction 20 years ago, but a biometric reality today.
2,000 years ago, John the Apostle received a revelation from God, predicting the arrival of the false prophet and the man of sin.
The United Kingdom's Information Commissioner claims that in 2017, consumers will be cashless shoppers. A microchip holding personal bank account and credit card information will be implanted into the body, connecting to a database that will know who they are, where they live, what they like, and what they don't like. Shoppers will have their hand scanned, not their credit card.
And I stood upon the sand of the sea, and I saw a beast rise up out of the sea, having 7 heads and 10 horns.
The most powerful nation on earth is set to betray its citizens. With new mandatory revisions to citizenship and constitutional privacy.
A system touted as a national security necessity is being used to build a database where the biometric identity of millions of Americans will be gathered and stored.
We're meeting with the president in order to formulate legislation that would require every person in the United States of America who is employed to carry a biometric identification card with them.
And he causeth all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their foreheads. And that no man might buy or sell save he that had the mark, or the name of the beast, or the number of his name.
The president put in a lot of money in the stimulus package to advance medical records so that if you have the chip, you can carry the records with you. They can stick it in a computer. They can know all your situations.
They'll have a GPS chip in there so that they can measure everybody, every instant, no matter where they go.
Your ID card would have either your fingerprint, your thumbprint on there, or it would have a reading of the veins in the back of your hand.
At almost 10 million kilometers squared, Canada is the second largest country on Earth. It is home to more than 35 million people. It is also an economic powerhouse, with the world's 11th largest economy based on GDP and the 17th largest based on its purchasing power. Executive Director of Fulbright Canada, Dr. Michael Hawes, says, Canada follows a carefully constructed strategy designed to influence the minds and the hearts of foreign nationals and allow Canada to play a larger role on the international stage. But could this large, wealthy and powerful nation also be one of the most dangerous? Canada's military spending is very low by international standards. It has been nuclear-free since 1984 and is a signatory to the Non-Proliferation Treaty. Despite being a NATO member, the Canadian government spends only 1% of its GDP on military spending. This is half of NATO's suggested 2% target. Canada is ranked 22nd out of 126 countries on Global Firepower's Index of Military Capabilities. It has the world's 47th largest army. Given the vast size of its landmass and population, this is surprisingly low. However, this may be because Canada is not under military threat. The 2016 Global Peace Index reported that it was the second most peaceful country outside of Europe.
Friend. Home to breathtaking landscapes, poutine, maple syrup, moose, and the ultimate DILF, Justin Trudeau. Praised for its multicultural attitude and its ability to embrace change, Canada is often seen as a welcome ally to many. But what if its mate America decided they wanted a piece of that maple pie for themselves? What if America wanted to wear its hat? What if America invaded Canada? Hello and welcome back to Life's Biggest Questions. I'm Rebecca Felgate, and today we're imagining a situation where relations between allies Canada and America turn sour and the United States decides to annex his neighbor. Boo! While the thought today seems pretty wild, the United States did try and fail to conquer Canada in 1812. A series of blunders meant that the much bigger American army embarrassingly failed to gain any traction. Then, in the 1920s and 30s, America drew up War Plan Red, which involved America declaring war on Britain and seizing Canada, still part of the British Commonwealth. Of course, this never happened, but the thought was there, and I would imagine, even if it is never admitted to, old plans to invade the North